Good morning. It's Fish, the Beach Bum Investor, here with your cryptocurrency discussion and report for whatever date it is today, 24th, 24th of November 2017. Been interesting action in the market overnight with Bitcoin Cash taking a big run up and Bitcoin starting to suffer a little bit as a result. The altcoins have been a bit of a mixed bag, but generally red as we move towards the weekend. So it's been somewhat expected. We sort of started calling this at the start of the week. The whales tend to cash out a little bit and go home. I'm just going to check into the chat. I'll give you a second. Well, you guys know me. I'll be more than a sec. Kong Savage Ruthless has a habit of being in first. BB Junkie, g'day. I think we're going to have a few in for the chat tonight, so should be good. Agent Smith is getting drunk, so he'll no doubt have some interesting things to add to the conversation a bit later on. Oh, happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to all the US viewers. It's not something that's celebrated outside of the US, obviously, but I know we've got a lot of US viewers in our Discord group. And hey, Dennis Turk, newbie. Yeah, I didn't think I'd seen your name before. How are you, man? We're going to go over some crypto today. That's what we do on this show. We're going to take a look at a few different cryptos today. And I'm also I learned to do screen share yesterday, so I'm going to do some sharing of the Australian culture with you all, which should be fun. Oh, you saw my ICX video. Yeah, man, I think Icon's a really, really solid project. It's going to be interesting. Actually, why don't we start by checking the futures market on Icon, see where it's trading at the moment. I haven't checked it in a while. It was pretty solid, around $1 last time I checked. Let's have a look. We got in on that as a crew. Yeah, $1.01. I think that's it's an indication of where it's going to go. I actually foresee higher coin prices than that for Icon. Dennis, if you've seen my videos, man, you'll know that I talk about the real world work that has been done prior to the ICO with Icon, which was why our group was so bullish on it, and we skipped work and stayed up late because it was all funny hours here in Australia to actually get into that one. We're glad we did. Sold out in 6 hours, I believe. So looking forward to that one hitting markets. We're sort of guessing around December, but I don't think there's an official date being set for Icon yet. Okay, so we've still got pretty solid trade volumes throughout the economy, like $14 billion, $254 billion. G'day, Eddie. Haven't seen you in ages. How you been, bro? Yeah, so $250 million in the market cap. That's good. Sorry, $250 trillion. $250 billion. What am I thinking? $250 trillion in the market cap overall. I'm just going back to the view all section so we can see how the last hour's been trending a little bit down in the last hour overall, but I'm just going to bring up view all now and have a look at it and see what we've got. Hey, Mark G. I know, man. Mark G's come on and said BCH. Holy crap. Like I told you, man, like I've had more and more friends asking me about crypto as they learn what I do. And as crypto gains more acknowledgement in wider spaces. And one of my mates, as I said, oh, Bitcoin Cash is going to be good, eh? And I was like, no, not in my opinion. But yeah, a lot of the noobs said it's just like, oh, it's, faster Bitcoin and all that. They don't realize that it's the cost and speed of transferring Bitcoin Cash is temporary. And that if the network actually got used to any significant degree, it wouldn't be any more of a scaling solution than Bitcoin currently has in place itself. So I just don't touch it, man. Bitcoin Cash myself. I wish them all the best. Well, I guess I wish them all the best. I don't really care either way, to be honest. As long as I can't ever see it passing Bitcoin. I've given my reasons for that before. So yeah, we'll see what happens with it. Hey, I'm going to mix in all this crypto chat with a little bit of, I'll wait for Agent Smith to get in because he's going to love this. Oh, and he's drinking. So we'll wait 10 minutes. If he's not here, we'll go ahead with it. But I want to get onto some Australian culture as well. I've got some YouTube videos ready to show you. They're funny. You missed the BCH pump last week. Thought you were holding the bag. You're in Melbourne, Dennis. Cool, man. You're going to like these videos. And you've probably seen a lot of them. They're silly Australian videos, but it's a good indication of some of the people we have in Australia, I guess. All right, let's Ethereum's down a little bit, holding really, down a little in the last hour, but in the last 24 hours, it's been really strong. Up 7.3% over the $400 mark. I saw it hit 420 this morning. Hey, Grinkus, how are you, man? Good to see ya. Hey, Grinkus, did you see we had, I don't know if you were here for yesterday, but we had Alex on the show, and Alex is now a member of our Discord group as well, our investment group, so we can keep an eye on the Gladius news coming out firsthand. And for those of you interested, the soft cap on Gladius was reached in the first day. The hard cap has been reduced. I'm glad we got in when we did. I'm just going to say that. If you guys know the soft cap's $2 million, and that has been hit. So I know that the amount raised is in excess of that. There will be an announcement coming out very, very soon. Tonight is what Alex told me, and obviously where he is in the US, it's about 8 o'clock at night now. Just gone past, so I expect the announcement, I guess, in the next 4 hours, if it's not already hit, about how much they've actually raised through the pre-sale process at this stage. So some really exciting stuff for all of us who got in on that Gladius ICO. Looking forward to that. All right, let's have a look at our first video. I'm going to try screen sharing. I just want to show you a bit of Australian culture. Going to take you through a few today. Screen share. How do I do that? Screen share. Share. Okay, you guys should be able to see my screen now. I'm going to show you the first video. I hope you can hear the sound as well. I'll come back to the chat after this and we'll see if it works. So this is one of my favorites. This is Guy taking an interview. We get it up on the big screen. All right, check this out.
Registered, microchipped, cleaned up after, de-sexed, leashed, not allowed on the beaches or in the parks outside certain hours. So how is it that these two are roaming their neighbourhood, frightening the locals, and the council isn't stopping it?
Now, yesterday morning, I came out into the front yard and the dogs were across the road. And as soon as they saw me, they came bounding over. And I just made it into the front door.
Oh, dear. Sorry, I had to do that. It's fun. How's that dude going nuts over that? Describing that story. I don't know if you could actually, hear that. EOS sideways for a week. Where is it going? I haven't looked much into EOS, man. You'll have to check whether any news is coming out. There's been an economic calendar. You saw that, Grinkus? Can you hear the volume when I do that? Because I'll do a few more. They're pretty funny. That dude goes off describing that dog attack. It's so funny. Get that guy on the show. I'll see what I can do, Grinkus. He's a bit of a celebrity in Australia now, man. He got like 400,000 followers or something. Yeah. Oh, you can hear the sound? Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, I know, man. It's the best video. Go and have a look at it. And he said, rabies, shoot him. Volume was good. Cool. All right, I'll show you some more videos. There's some more fun ones coming up. Let's have a look at the market in between. We've been asked about EOS. It's not something I've had a look at. It's done exceptionally well, though. When you're saying sideways movement for a while, yes, in terms of the crypto economy. This is a while for sideways movement, but I don't know, man. It did take a massive run up. If you look at the 7-day graph, we're still looking at 10% gains in 7 days. That's big. You guys have got to understand how big these growth patterns are and understand that these sorts of profits in a week are good. We've got, I think it was Lewis on our Discord group is aiming to do trades to 5% profit a day and compound it over the year. And I actually said, well, you probably, it's a good strategy, but you may not even need to go that hard, because I wrote a Steemit article about making 1% a day and compounding it over a year. So you start with $150, and I think at the end of it, you get to, I think it was $5,000 over 365 days. If you make 1%, reinvest 1%, 1%, 1% every day, you'd make $5,000 out of 150. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah, so Bitcoin Cash, as I said, huge gain at 32% in the last 24 hours, and actually up 79% in a week. Again, not a huge fan myself, but if you're finding use cases for it, fair enough. If you're not, I've got to ask why. That's the thing. If no one's accepting it in stores and there's no plans being made. Like, it might be accepted in some places and they might have a strong team behind it, but for its current stage of development, that is really overpriced for mine. Mark G said, I know it's crazy. When was there ever a market like this? I only made 70% on EOS in a week. Yeah, man. It gets a bit like that. That's why I say people are impatient as well. Hey, IOTA's taken a dip, and I'm starting to get really bullish on it. I really am. I know this for me is an all or nothing. IOTA's an all or nothing because the network itself and the technology is somewhat untested, especially on large scale. There is potential vulnerabilities with the network and bugs that are going to have to be sorted out. But if it can be sorted out, I think this is revolutionary technology and I think it could go places. So I'm starting to get pretty bullish on IOTA, guys. And I think we've seen it run up to $1. I don't think it'll be that will be its all-time high. So I think at 77 cents, it becomes good buying. Now, to me, it's a coin flip on this one. And I'll back that up with a statement that was made by the actual one of the people over at IOTA, and he tweeted that IOTA will either be $1 trillion company or nothing. So that's sort of where, you know, the technology is either going to be developed and work and basically be used in a lot of different use cases, or it's going to fail altogether. And even the, you know, one of the high up people in IOTA, I can't remember who it was, actually tweeted that out. Wilkie sent that to me. It's interesting. So yeah, I don't mind taking a 50-50 gamble on IOTA at that. Yeah, Grinkers, I will take a look at Sub. Let's have a look at Sub. Sub's one we got into as an investment crew, and we did. Thank you, Cranky Pete. Cranky Pete got us into Sub. First brought it to the attention of the crew. We got in early, and bang, 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 all-time highs. That's all-time highs, right, guys? Last time it went on a big bull run, it got up to 18 cents and then it swallowed down to like 12. But people are getting more bullish on this. I saw Data Dash put it in his top 5. That guy's got like 100,000 subs. That's going to move markets. It is. In this economy, 100,000 people watching that video where he says, oh, Substratum's awesome. That's going to help our cause. We've been bullish on Sub for a long time. And I think there's crossover between Substratum and the project that we've just invested in Gladius. Because Substratum essentially is using unused resources for web hosting. And Gladius is using unused resources for preventing DDoS attacks. So I think there's crossover between the two. I don't see them as competitors. I see them more as colleagues in a similar space. Who knows, perhaps even there'd be partnerships potentially involved in the future where, I don't know, I'm not good enough at programming, but who knows, maybe DDoS attacks could be prevented. On Substratum by Gladius. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that works. I'd have to ask Alex. But yeah, that sounds like it's, Substratum's doing well. It's getting more and more publicized. It obviously got added to Binance, which is a large volume exchange. Yeah, that's been a really good investment for us. I think we picked it up at about 6 cents. 6 cents at ICO, guys. I can't remember the price. It was around that. So yeah, we've 3x'd on that. So nice. And we also got bonuses by referring through our group. So we did individual investments and used the referral bonuses to actually pick up bonuses. Grinkers was part of that. Oh, I'm still on screen share. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Thanks, man. Anyway, well, if I'm still on screen share, let's do another video. And what have I got here? All right. This guy is a legend. No, I won't do it there because then I'll lose the chat. This guy's a legend. You guys might have heard of him before. I dropped this on our Discord group before. But Nick Cummins is Australian rugby player, and he's about the most Aussie guy you'll ever meet in your life or ever hear in your life. And this is some of his best moments. So this.
Holy tomorrow. Yeah, good. Bloody, you beauty. Look, have you ever heard of that Bible story of Samson and Delilah?
Yeah. No.
Well, that's going to have to do with what I'm doing. So, a bit of meat, hopefully offset piece, but I'll take any meat that's on offer, mate. If I end up getting a gig, mate, I'll be going off like a cut snake. Now, the word on the street is, hearing from the crowds that you're as tough as woodpecker lips. What would you say to that? Yeah, look, there's a couple of big hoovers getting about. When the start of this season turns up, the boys will be, going off like a bull in a china shop. Yeah, mate, I was like a rat up a drain pipe. One of them runs there, but I'm sweating like a gypsy with a mortgage actually when he got up after scoring that try. This time around I was just thinking I'm going to get out there and just go bananas, and I didn't. I was hungry out there, but I wasn't. But at the end there, the ball went across field. I couldn't get there in time. Maybe it was the footing last night. But I thought, we come out, as mad as a tree full of galahs there in the first 20 minutes. And that was our plan, to really. Yeah, mate, got a bit of test meat, we call it back home, a bit of meat pie. Your apparel and when you had to stop wearing them DTs.
I don't know where you got that information from, but yeah, I guess it's true. I was up at
When you come into this sort of game, I suppose you got to show the patience of the Dalai Lama initially. Yeah, get down there. It's going to be a screamer, and if I'm playing, I promise to.
All right, there's a bit of Nick, Nick Cummins, good Aussie rugby player. I'll get off screen share now. Stop. Okay, now you can see me again. How you all going? All right, let's have a look at some more crypto. As I promised, I'm doing something different this show. You never know what to expect, so I hope you're enjoying learning a bit about Australia. Sweating like a gypsy with a mortgage. Yeah, it's a good one, Grinkers. Happy Thanksgiving, Hourglass. Welcome, man. I was watching one of my idols, actually. Good rugby player. Good guy. All right, so let's get back to the crypto economy. We had a look at Substratum. This is a weird way to do the show, I know, but we're doing something different. You can all learn a bit about Australia, some of our characters that we have here. Mark G said, I met a champ Aussie footballer years ago, Spud Carroll. Guy was so massive. I want to tell you something. Dave Taylor is a rugby league player. If you look up Dave Taylor, the dude is enormous, like a man mountain. He'd be he's got to be 120 kilograms, 130 kilograms. That's like 250 pounds, easy, 250 pounds. And when he was playing for Gold Coast Titans, he used to surf out at D-Bar. And I paddled up to him one day and the surf was about this big. It's tiny. And Dave was out there giving it a run. I said, geez, you do all right for, I said, it's good to see you out here, man. You're doing well. And he goes, I go all right for a big guy. I'm like, I wasn't saying anything. Yeah, so he's a legend though. He's a good player and big guy, massive. When you see him in life, it's just this mountain of muscle. Anyway, moving on, crypto economy. Gonna have a look at CoinMarketCap and see what interesting movers there have been. Hey, you know what's something I'm getting really bullish on is Chainlink. If I can talk about Chainlink for a second. Now, obviously, whenever I get bullish on something, I've probably purchased it. That's a no-brainer, guys. I'm not trying to pump my own coin because I know that realistically, we do some good investments, but we don't have the power to move $50 million markets. Now, I think Chainlink has some really, really good potential because I think it identifies a problem the same way Litecoin sort of identified a problem with Bitcoin. And I always praise Litecoin for that and being the first of the crypto version 2s as I see it. I think Chainlink has really identified a problem with Ethereum in that the completion of contracts in the real world does require third-party information. It does. If you're enacting an insurance contract, there needs to be information collected about how much the car was worth, what incidents took place leading up to the crash, for example. If your house was robbed, the doors locked. There's third-party information that's required to be collected, right? And using the Oracle system in Chainlink, it's the first crypto I've been really interested in that provides that access to external third-party information, which is going to be important in actually enacting smart contracts going forward. So yeah, I think it's a good one. Yeah, so that's one that I've actually been getting pretty bullish on. I sort of dropped that on Discord this morning and said, yeah, the more I look at it, the more I like it. So getting quite bullish on Chainlink. I think it's undervalued for its potential. You know, stage of development. We're still at trials with a lot of these things. Speaking of which, you know, that's the thing. I'm going to go back to Gladius just for Sub's doing great, Hourglass, and that's why I'm bullish about this investment we got in on yesterday. Not only has there been some great news that they're reducing the hard cap, and they say, you know what, we can develop this cheaper. It's just, it reminds me so much. It has so many. It doesn't remind me of it because they're different value propositions, but it has so many crossovers in using unused resources of the public to create a network. Now, essentially, that's what Substratum does in terms of web hosting, and Gladius is aiming to achieve that in terms of preventing DDoS attacks. Now, the thing I love about it is that we spoke to Alex yesterday on the show, and he said they've already got a working product. They've already got, you know, alpha testing. He said it's complex, so you know, to actually get it up and going on your computer is a little bit fiddly at the moment, so they're not prepared to release it in beta testing, but they've got a product. That's the great thing. Now, beta testing is targeted for March. That's brilliant, but I don't know. I got a feeling it could even be stepped up from there. I'm starting to, you know, they've had a massive influx of money, over $2 million in the first day of or leading towards the first day of the public sale. I'm not sure. So over $2 million raised in pre-sale. That's impressive. You know, with the hard cap of 12 million, that doesn't leave a lot of space for public investors to get in. So we'll see what happens in that space. But I think we could be on another sellout there, guys. Same as we were with Sub. Sub sold out, didn't it, at ICO? I'm pretty sure it did. So we've had good gains on it anyway. Who cares whether it's sold out at ICO? We held on to it and we've made 3x. Really? Hadn't heard that, Hourglass. I sort of don't like those coins generally, but to be fair, I'm being coinist. I'm blanketing the pot coins. But Hourglass has just said, also, guys, I invested in Potcoin a while ago. They are working with IBM now. Today looks like a nice growth day. That's interesting, man. That's interesting. All right, time to look at some more Australian culture. Who else we got here? Oh. Hearing a lot of chatter about ETP. All right, let me have a look at ETP first. Then we can get on to some Australian cultures. Fair. ETP is Metaverse. I had a little bit of a look at this. I can't really remember much about it though. It's currently sitting at $3.59 per coin, a market cap of 130 million, just a tick over. 24-hour volume's good, 10 million. Circulating supply of 36 million ETP and total supply of 55 million. Max supply is 100 million, so that's interesting. The circulating supply would be what's being sold to the public. The total supply would be what the developers hold, and the max supply would be the inflation rate, I assume. I can't be sure of that without looking into it, but that's the basic figures for you. It's down 4.33% today. Yeah, I mean, off all-time highs for sure. Like, yeah, you're almost half price on all-time highs. Good support around that $3 mark by the looks of it. I really haven't looked into it. Bo Vosh says, I like ganja coins better. They have masternodes. Hey, Bo Vosh, let's have a quick look at PIVX. But you bought that. I think you bought that really well because you chimed in and told us when you bought it. And by the way, did Fish say 39,000 or did Fish say 39,000? I said I would get to the 39,000 within 24 hours, and it did. It actually broke that mark. But Bo Vosh, from memory, you got it down at like, I don't know, I think you got it at 35 or 36,000, man. So good little gain for you there already. It's sitting at 37,614 Satoshi. BTC's just come back a bit. So the actual US dollar value is sitting around $3.01 flat. The bid and ask are actually pretty much bang on to each other at the moment. It's a decent sell order there. If anyone wants to go and buy a masternode, go ahead. 3.6. You can have one now for 3.7650. There you go. That would pretty much get you to a masternode for 37,650. There's quite a big sell order there. 8,958. So there is some resistance there. Guys, I want to drop some news on you on PIVX. Now, this has been put on our Discord group, so I consider this public information, which allows me to release it to you now. I'll read the actual quote, guys, because that's the best way for me to do it. If I can find it. Oh, we had so much chat between when I posted this morning. You guys are chat junkies. Today, just trying to find it, but it was good news. Okay, this is from Jackieman, who does a lot of the posting about updates and things like that at PIVX. I'm not actually sure of his exact role there, but he's bloody brilliant, I'll tell you that much. Anyway, this is from yesterday at 6:26 Australian time, so 6:26 p.m. Hopefully, and I want to emphasize that word, guys, hopefully. So this is not locked in 100% solid guarantee. Hopefully, Upbit will add PIVX to KRW pair in the next week or so. We're about 10 to 15 in the queue right now. And I think going by their listed coins to be added. Made a huge impact on Steam and SBD yesterday. So obviously Steam and SBD got added to be able to be purchased directly with Korean Won. And guys, for those of you who don't keep a track of trade volumes, just about every massive move in this economy is powered by Korean Won. So the fact that PIVX is potentially going to be added there within a week, I'm super excited about. I can't wait to see what the price action is around that. We'll see what happens. Mark G, the PIVX masternode level is 10,000 coins, but of course with PIVX you can stake at low levels. You can stake at 1 PIVX if you want to. We do have a node calculator that actually allows you to calculate your likely returns on any given number of PIVX. You just go into it, you type in them out. Let me find I can never remember the website for that one. It's node, I can't remember what it is. Come on, Luke. No, I'll have to look it up. I've dropped it over in our Discord group a few times, but it allows you to actually, calculate what the likely returns are in PIVX. So yeah, 10,000 for a masternode. But the good thing is that honestly, the masternodes don't earn that much more than the low-level stakers. That's one of the beautiful things about PIVX. It's about equality and fairness, right? So if you want to stake 50 PIVX, get a little Raspberry Pi going and stake 50 PIVX. It's a low-cost way of potentially earning some residual income. Now, it might take you a while to get that bonus with 50 PIVX, but my thoughts are if you're invested in the project and you believe in it long-term, you get 1 staking bonus, okay, it's 2 PIVX. But if PIVX were to go to a value of something like $20, you just made $40 in a staking bonus. So, and plus that extra 2 PIVX that you've just added to your 50 base PIVX now gives you a better chance of receiving another bonus. So it's about reinvesting your residual income. And obviously that's scaled up if you're a masternode holder. I think it's like you'll get a PIVX bonus every day or every day and a half or something, depending on the seesaw algorithm, which does actually swing towards the low-level stakers at some time. So it can be a long-term goal for you. It can be like, right, my savings, I'm going to put it into PIVX, and my goal, this is me, this is what I'm doing. My long-term goal is to get a masternode. So I just keep saving, and any residuals I get, I keep in there. I spend as little PIVX as I can. I do have to spend some. I've told you guys that. I've got promotions to pay for, things like that. Stickers to get printed, hats to get made. I got stuff to pay for. So I can't just take all my PIVX budget and go, yes, and hold it there. I'm expected to do some work and pay for some stuff. So I do have to take some of that money out every now and again, but I try and take as little as I can. Everybody wants to know G-Spec Gaming and Hourglass. Okay, G-Spec Gaming, welcome. I'm not sure I've seen you before. Do we know when Icon will be listed at Fish, the beach bum investor? No, I'm not sure yet, man. I haven't heard any extra news. I haven't seen anything dropped over in our Discord group. No, I haven't seen anything. We're sort of estimating December, but I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything set in stone about it. So the KYC process is finished, so I can't imagine it's too much longer. We've also been speculating a lot about how many coins are actually going to be burned because of KYCs that didn't pass. And I believe that Icon actually announced, well, we're just going to burn those coins. If people don't qualify, I assume they're sending them back their ether, and then boom, coins gone, burn. So that essentially reduces the supply, which is great for those people who did get in and did qualify through the KYC process. Mark G, sorry, what exchange is PIVX potentially going to be listed on? Upbit, mate, Upbit, UPBIT. Now there is actually an announcement on there. Let me see if I can. I don't know how to do it because it's a Korean website, so I can't read any of it. But they're going to be doing PIVX to Korean won. And guys, look at the trade volumes. Go and look at what pumped Ether. Go and look at what pumped IOTA. Go and look what pumped any of those top coins. Just go and have a look where the money flowed from to make them where they are now, which is why I'm so bullish on Icon, and two, why I'm so bullish on PIVX. You know, as I said, I've been very careful. Guys, you know I work for PIVX. Obviously, I'm going to have most of my investment in PIVX. So I want to be real careful about not shilling the coin and letting you make your own decisions. But I can't see this being a bad thing when the Korean won has driven every significant gainer into that top 20 market. Like, it really has. Most of it has been Korean won. Mining out of China, yes, but investment capital has been Korean won primarily. That's why I'm so bullish on the two projects, Icon and PIVX. So we'll see what happens, but you know, make your own decisions, please. But I think regardless of going onto that exchange, it's good buying it at anywhere under $4. I've said that for a long time for PIVX. And with the added, I can only call it a rumor at the moment, but if you go onto the Upbit exchange, they're actually advertising it. They are actually advertising PIVX KRW. I did have a link for that. I won't be able to find it quickly because I'm not a computer genius, but I've dropped that over in our Discord group as well. So yeah, if people don't call, that's what I've heard. They'll burn the coins. I actually contacted Icon and said, can I apply to buy some of those burned coins? But we'll see what happens. They haven't got back to me yet. Still waiting for that reply. Icon, I sent you a nice little video. Talked about the project a lot too. So I'd be a good strategic person to allow to invest into those otherwise burnt coins, especially since the futures market's trading at about 10x. Yeah, I understand that I'd make profit overnight, but still. Anyway, let's move on to another. No, that's all right, Jace. We're doing a bit about Aussie culture today, mate. You've missed a couple of videos, but we're about to go to another one. Let me show you one of my, I'll see if I can find her. I forget her name, but she's one of the funniest and cutest little surfers you'll ever see in your life. So I'll try and find her first, hang on. But she's a legend, surf grown Aussie. Yeah, there's a couple of fun ones, but oh, this is her. She's pretty funny. All right, this video is a bit long, so I might cut off halfway through it. I'll just get it up and running, and then I'll share it with you. So we're doing a mixture of cryptocurrency and Australian culture today, and showing you some of the things I love about Australia and some of the characters I love in Australia. So I'm just stop. Yeah, okay, blah 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 blah. Skip ad.
She is the pint-sized surfing star taking the world by storm.
All right. Hang on, exit full screen. I'm going to share this with you now. Sorry about the mucking around. All right, share my screen. It's a bit of fun. Then we'll go back to some more crypto, I promise. Just trying to keep it interesting for you guys. I know a lot of you aren't from Australia, so this gives you a bit of an insight. So this is one of my favourite little surfers. She's a legend. I forget her name.
Watched this all morning, but she first captured our hearts right here on the Today Show.
I can't believe that Sally gave me the wild card. It's like, I can't believe out of all the girls in the world she's chosen me. Even if I get last, they're going to do $250 prize money for last. Yeah. And I really would want to spend it on donuts, but that'll be bad for Sally. Yeah, my dad was an athlete, but now he's pretty fat. He used to eat like
Yeah, so that's one of the little legend surfing groms. Hang on, I'll see if I can do this. Yes, I'm back. Yeah, I can't remember her name. But we've also got the flying squirrel in this area. She's pretty famous little Aussie surfer. She surfs Snapper Rocks and she shreds. I got to tell you, I've been watching her surf since she was 4 or 5 years old. She used to wear like a buoyancy vest on, and her dad used to push her onto the waves out at Snapper Rocks where the world tours, the first leg of the world tour's taken. It's impressive watching the kids go for it at that age, for sure. You found that mention of PIVX on Upbit? Yeah, cool. No worries. Oh, I already played that, Agent Smith. I already played that. I played that. I can't play it again. I already played that at the start. I told you it was going to be a funny show, and you should have been here at the start. You were too busy drinking, and that's your own fault. All right, let's have a look at some more crypto, and we'll get on to another video in a second. Learning about Australian culture and cutting down the amount of time I have to spend on. Sneaky, really. Yeah, I already played it, Agent Smith. You have to watch the video back, man. It's classic. That guy barking, man. When I literally was in tears. I played that video so many times. Best. All right. Let's have a look at the economy and see how we're trending. Hey, Lisk is one that took a big run down. Wilkie texted me this morning, and he said he called himself Dave, and he said Dave got his Lisk back. So he saw it as too cheap this morning. It's continued to dive, actually, as has the economy. Just taking a look now. It's a couple of coins that have suffered as a result. Lisk being one of them, 10% down, but Bitcoin itself is down 7,966. I'm going to check out now and see whether that inverse relationship is happening with Bitcoin Cash that we've seen in the past. So let me just have a quick look at Lisk, and then I'll have a look at Bitcoin Cash and see how that's trending as well. Yeah, Lisk looks to have found support. I think we're good at 90,000 there for support at the moment. We'll see what happens. It's a wild economy, but I think that's good buy. I think you'll see a bare $10 coin again, no problem, one day. Let's move on to Bitcoin Cash. I just got to find coin market cap. I often lose it when I go searching around, opening up tabs. So I'll just open up yet another one, further confusing myself. BB Junkie reckons it's about to fall through 7,900. Yeah, man, when it dips below psychological supports, it often will go to the next psychological support. So yeah, Mark G, someone was talking about that. I think it was 21 Million Club bought us information about Bitcoin Diamond Fork. I think it's already happened, hasn't it? Or it was happening soon. I don't care about those forks, man. They just annoy me now. Unless they're coming out with something really, really positive to add to the Bitcoin core, I'm not interested. I'm just going to do a quick update here, but it looks like Bitcoin Cash is continuing to strengthen. This would be more, in my opinion, please make your own decisions. This will be more newbie driven. It's just that mate who made that comment to me saying, oh, Bitcoin Cash. I was just like, how can you say that with such confidence? Like, can you tell me how the increased block sizes are going to be a scaling solution long term? Can you explain to me how not overlaying SegWit is a good thing? Like, I've got to believe the money's coming from publicity, hype, FOMO, emotion, all them with wanting to be respectful to newbies because it can be a scary place, but all the mistakes that newbies make when investing in the crypto economy. Oh, thanks for that, Mark G. It happens at block 495866. I thought it had already happened. Yeah, cool. That's for Bitcoin Diamond for anyone interested. Thanks for that comment, man. That's cool. Yeah, so that's interesting. Bitcoin Cash is sort of trying to flip the switch. It continues to gain, up 3.47% in the last hour. And again, Bitcoin falling with most of the economy. IOTA's come back 2.71%, probably because I said to buy it at the start of the show. But most of the other things are in red figures. Power Ledger's coming back a little bit, but it's after significant retracements. Dogecoin staying quite stable after a really good week for Dogecoin. Eternity's one that I actually got into ICO level, and I've made good money on that. That was my second ever ICO, was Eternity. It talked about off-chain stuff, and this was like when there was 6 ICOs listed on ICOcountdown.com. If you go and look at the site now, there'll be 100. There was 6, so it was a lot easier to search through and find some good ones. But yeah, I was lucky enough to get into Eternity at ICO level. So just trying to remember, but I think I've gone roughly 2x on that. So it's taken a while, but shit, 2x in 6 months. You take that every day of the week. Oh no, it started. Mark G said, when is the Bitcoin lead fork? Laugh out loud. And then Agent Smith has just started shilling Cheetah Coin, which he's done no development work on. Has no intention of actually creating it. Just like shilling it. You want to fork it, Agent Smith. Everyone else is. Go and do Cheetah Coin. Yeah, the green figures over the last 24 hours are not, there's few and far between, but in the last hour specifically, not good. And I think this is where uncertainty happens. People just, go, whatever, I'm pulling out. I'll see what happens in the wash up. Honestly believe that. You're a dick. Mark G goes, Bitcoin aluminium or aluminum for the overseas viewers. We say aluminium in Australia. Yeah, Bitcoin aluminium futures are dropping. Yeah, righto. Chainlink's up at 2% in the last 24 hours and staying pretty steady. It's only down 0.03%. So it looks like, that might have shaken out as far as it's going to go low. It was buying off lows at 15 cents, guys. So, 16.7 is not a long way above that. And I am getting more bullish on it, and I've explained my reasons for that. Yeah, not a lot of good news to report in the last hour in that top 100. Considerable losses on a few coins, actually. Going further down the list, but it's really not a good looking hour. Look, I hope this is just, it tends to happen every Friday. It's Friday here, so maybe Thursday, Friday, it tends to happen. It's a pattern that emerges almost every week. Can I say Z? Oh, you mean Z? Oh, Agent Smith, you say potato, I say potato. You say Satoshi, I say Satoshi. Satoshi, 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 Satoshi. Let's call the whole thing off. Okay. Oh, Jace, stop. Jace, we not only had the CTO on the show for an hour and 20 minutes yesterday, Alex has joined our Discord group. Oh, did you hear, Jace? Soft cap has already been reached at pre-sale. $2 million over has been raised. We don't know the figure. The figure's going to be announced in the next 4 hours, I believe, for the total figure. Raised at pre-sale, and then we'll go to public sale. And it is reduced to a $12 million overall hard cap, man. So glad we got in when we did. Stoked about that one. Joe, what's going on, man? Yeah, so we're doing a bit of Aussie culture today, as well as crypto chat. So feel free to put up your HODL or HODL. Well, it's HODL. Hold on for dear life. That's what the acronym stands for. We're all pretty good, Joe. We had a good chat with Alex yesterday. Alex Godwin from Gladius. I think we got in on a good project there, man. Hey, did you end up getting in on that ICO, Joe? The one that you sent to me? I really like it. I might even purchase some Neo and get into it myself if it's not too late. How's that all gone? I haven't been keeping a track of it because I've been busy with Gladius. Oh, 19 minutes? Yes, we'll stay live for that. I won't sign off early for sure. Okay, for those of you interested, 19 minutes until the main ICO Gladius, which means, people aren't having to invest. I think it was a 34 Ether minimum at private pre-sale. Now, this is the public pre-sale where I believe the minimum is 1 Ether, if I'm correct. which is very exciting. That allows a lot of lower level investors to get in. And, you know, with being so successful at the private pre-sale level, I'm wondering whether this is going to be another sellout that we've got onto, guys, which would obviously be very beneficial. Yeah, I was the same, Joe. I looked at that and I thought, can we raise the 100 Ether? Man, we probably could have as a group. If we get onto these things early enough and people can start budgeting for it, we can get 100 Ether together if we want to do something like that in the future. But I honestly think that, yeah, I'm going to get in with you on that, I think, Joe, which means I should be buying some Neo, because Neo's well below that 1 to 10 ratio with Ethereum, and you can invest it at that ratio with Neo. So it might be a smart investment for me to buy some Neo and getting ready for that. Do you know when the public ICO for that one is, Joe? Because we'll keep it a bit quiet about the name of that one, because that could sell out as well. That's a good looking project. Joe's also asked about what my thoughts are. We can still try to get into the pre-sale, man. I think everyone's going to be a bit tapped out after we just put 50 Ether into Gladius. So I don't know if if we're going to be able to raise 100 for it, but I do like the project. And if you like, we can open up a discussion group about raising 100 Ether into that, but it depends on how long we have to raise it. Gladius about to release funding news in Telegram. Thanks, BB Junkie. Can you keep an eye on that, bro, and just post it up when it comes through? That'd be really interesting. Thank you. I've actually got Telegram here as well, so I can keep an eye on it. Gladius. I'm trying to keep an eye on crypto. Joe's asked my thought about the flippening this weekend, man. I've given my thoughts on this several times. I think that to actually achieve a flippening, Bitcoin Cash would have to get the exchanges to agree to trade in Bitcoin Cash rather than Bitcoin. I think that there was another reason. I think that it's wrong, because I think when a company is designed to work by consensus, and the consensus was 85% towards Bitcoin, to call yourself the real Bitcoin as Bitcoin Cash because you've got a less modified version of Satoshi's original white paper is rubbish, to be honest. It's a bullshit argument. I've been through this before. I don't think Satoshi ever released the white paper for Bitcoin saying this will be Bitcoin the way it will be for the rest of all time. He meant it to be an open source development project. He meant it to be improved. He, she, they, sorry. I'm just saying he because the name Satoshi is usually used for men. So in my opinion, it's not up to Roger Ver or Roger Ver or Roger, whatever his name is. It's not up to him to decide what Satoshi wanted. It's not up for him to. It's not up for him. It's an open source project. Am I right? Isn't that what Bitcoin is? It's about decentralization. It's about the community deciding. Now, it's somewhat suffered some challenges in that mining has allowed for what some would call centralization, which is where currencies like PIVX that actually have a governance model that actually works on the will of the community, not the top shareholders. Or at least that's what we're working towards, and it's certainly getting there. Everyone gets a say. That's decentralization. So that's my personal opinion on Bitcoin Cash. Yeah, I know most people believe it was the Cypherpunk group, I think, Mark G, or members from the Cypherpunk group. Mark G said people believe it was actually a group, Satoshi. Yeah, and then I heard a conspiracy theory that it's like Samsung, Toshiba, Satoshi. Samsung, Toshiba, I forget the other name of the country and someone else, company and someone else. And then it was the CIA, and then it was, there's lots of theories about there that conspiracy theories about that will go on for all of time, I'm sure. Whoa! For those of you interested, there's a $12 million hard cap on Gladius. $5.3 million of that was raised in the pre-sale. So there's only 7 million left to go to the public, guys. And I think we're very happy about hearing that. Thanks for updating us, BB Junkie. So it was 12,622 Ether, 51.5 of which was our group. Or should I now? Yeah, because it's a group thing, right? So no one can ascertain individual investments by me telling you that. So that's how much we put in as a group. As you all know, we could rip up $20,000 and throw it away, or we could do very well out of it. That's the game we play with venture capital. I think we're on a good one. I think this is a unique value addition to the economy, and one that's a very lucrative market, and one that provides a real use case for blockchain technology. Thanks for updating us, BB. Good on you. 42.4% already raised. Thanks, Jace. 12.5 million is the hard cap, yeah. Joe said, yeah, I still haven't traded any of my forks. I'm still a Bitcoin core fanboy. Yeah, man, for sure. Got to be. In terms of, you know, I like my alts as well as you do, Joe, but in terms of Bitcoin v Bitcoin Cash, man, it's a no-brainer, in my opinion. You've got an altcoin pretending to be Bitcoin and Bitcoin. At least the other altcoins have the decency to provide a different value addition to the economy, a different model, maybe proof of stake, maybe a ASIC resistant proof of work model. At least they have the decency not to just call themselves Bitcoin something else. To me, it's a ripoff. It's an absolute ripoff. It pisses me off that it's been valued at $30 billion. And I'm so sorry to those who do like it and are invested in it, but I don't see how it adds any value over Bitcoin long term. Like, it's not a long-term solution. We want mass adoption. How is Bitcoin Cash's model going to achieve that? If anyone can answer that question, please feel free. Catching up with the live chat, guys. I don't even trade it, Agent Smith. Generally, man, I only trade things that I don't mind getting held with the bag because I believe in them long term. That's where quick flips are difficult for me sometimes, because you miss your selves, you go to sleep and you wake up overnight and you drop a lot and you're sitting there going, I never even wanted the coin, just trying to flip it. And that's why I prefer to be a long-term investor, where I'll trade in and out of the coins that I want to accumulate. So I trade Ether trades, Litecoin trades, and Bitcoin trades between altcoins that I want, not to be confused with one of the altcoins where I did get left with a bag and now I'm trading the shit out of that bag. As you guys seen, I posted that this morning. To try and accumulate more and get out of that bag situation. Hope it gets pumped again and I can hand the bag on to someone else. And I'm sorry, that sucks, but that's the reality of markets. And I don't particularly think the coin's worth the values that it's been predicted for by some people in the YouTube game. And I think those sorts of valuations are irresponsible, because I don't think they're based on anything other than the same failed thesis from first time, that we're all going to trust each other and pump and hodl. And as soon as one person breaks, the rest of the group, the dominoes fall and no one trusts each other and everyone dumps. Happened last time. It'll probably happen again. So we'll see what happens. I just traded it. Like, I've doubled my holdings on it just by trading the residual, because I said, yeah, I might as well trade it, man. I don't really care. I don't want it. So if it goes skyrocketing, good, we'll sell the rest of them. Hourglass reckons BTC is going to rocket, so hold on to it. Agent Smith sold his Bitcoin gold for double the price now. Well, Jiao's holding a big old bag of Bitcoin gold. I think he had like like all the zeros down to 1, 2 in his account, because he was into altcoins when it all happened. So he had no Bitcoin at all and got 0.00012 Bitcoin gold, so he can't even sell it. He can't do anything with it. Just sits there. Let's have a look. I'm going to see how it's trending. 7964 last time I checked. I want to do an update. 7940. Let's continue to trend down, guys, on Bitcoin, and actually most of the alts as well. It looks like it's going to be a red day, unfortunately. I wouldn't get in and start selling out now. I think you're still actually getting some really good buys. ARK below $3. I think you're going to do really well on that long term. Again, Sidebridge Technologies, I think, a really interesting alternative to what's being offered in the economy. Yeah, there's some really good buys around still. Just having a look. Salt's continuing to drop. I don't know, 350. Last time it got under 3, it was gobbled up real quick. But I think even at 350, it's 357. But I think at 350, it's not bad buying because it's been well above $4. PIVX has dropped below 3 again, guys. $2.98. $2.98, far too cheap for a currency that is rumored, working towards, I don't know what you'd call it. Go and look at Upbit. Upbit have an advertisement about it. So, look, dates aren't set in stone, but we're about to be available in Korean won. We're a good currency. We've got a good community. We tick every box. Proof of stake, so we're a real alternative to proof of work models like Bitcoin. Community-based consensus programs, seesaw algorithms. I think the Koreans will like it. I really do. And if they do, we will see good volume come on board PIVX, I'm sure, once we hit Upbit. So for mine, $2.98 too cheap, far too cheap. I'm going to do a top 5. I was thinking of my top 5 undervalued guys. And I will do I'll do a video actually explaining why, but I really think Chainlink, I've got more and more bullish on that. 10x was the other one. PIVX was the third. What were the other 2 that I was looking at for my top 5 for like 2018, where I can really see growth potential? I was looking at IOTA actually as a coin flip. I know it's already high up the market cap, but that was one that I really thought it could jump up there. It could take on the Litecoins. It could double from where it is and go to $1.50. So I think that's pretty good buying at 76 cents. BCH is manipulated as, I'm not going to swear on the program, I'm not going to swear. I could hit 3K, but I don't know about, it could hit 3K, but I don't know about so soon. Hey, all eyes on Alex. How are you, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. We had an Alex on the show yesterday, actually. Alex from Gladius. We're all pretty happy about that. Just had some news dropped about the pre-sale and about the public ICO, or the public pre-sale, which has started today. Sorry. So yeah, not much left to sell out on that one. So I think the Crypto Wave investment crew might have snagged another ICO sellout, which would be fantastic for us. Guys, I would like to take a look at that one Joe's looking at. I don't think we're going to raise 100 Ether in time, but let's have a look at it because Joe brought it to my attention. He's the one who brought Icon to us, and honestly, I think he's got a winner here. The other person who's brought an ICO to my attention, which looks pretty good, but unfortunately I haven't had a really solid look into it, is Z. Z found one. So if you're interested, you can direct message Z and things like that as well. So we'll try and keep it. Or Z, you can chuck it up on the pub. I don't mind sharing it with our Discord group, man. I just don't like putting it on YouTube until we've got our investment in. Anyway, let's have a look at something else Aussie. What else did I want to show you? Oh, yeah. I'm going to get onto Aussie Prime Ministers. And I want to introduce you to one Aussie Prime Minister. And he's probably, I think statistically, he's actually the most popular. Funny, I type in his name and the first thing that comes up is the video I'm looking for. But look, this is actually our Prime Minister, and he was our Prime Minister in the 80s. He was our Prime Minister during the time that Australia won the America's Cup, taking the America's Cup away from America for the first time in over 100 years. First time in history, I believe, actually. That was in 1983. So Hawke was our Prime Minister during those times. Now, for those of you who don't know, Bob Hawke actually held a beer drinking record at one of the universities. I can't remember which one. And to prove that he hadn't lost it in his maturing age, I think it was at the last Ashes, Bob Hawke decided to show that he's still got what it takes.
To the people, the public love him, and all of the Richies gave him a beer and said, "Have a skull." What does one of our greatest prime ministers do? He sculled it. Listen, they're going skull, 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 and the great man Bobby Hawke nailed it. Said, thank you very much, boys. Cheers them. Loves his cricket. Have your cup back. Don't waste the drop.
Oh, yeah. So that's one of our prime ministers. He was a Labor prime minister, very popular. Was considered a prime minister of the people. Famously said after Australia winning he was always pissed. He stopped drinking after a while, but he was always on the piss. He said after Australia won that America's Cup that any boss who sacks his worker for not showing up tomorrow is a bum. So he basically told everyone to go and celebrate and get on the piss. So yeah, that's interesting look at one of our prime ministers. What a boss, says Agent Smith. True Aussie legend, says Joe. Yeah, so it's there's a bit of Aussie culture. I promised you a bit of integrating Aussie culture into the chat today. So that's one of our prime ministers. Oh, I got some more to show you. Okay, let's move on. I just want to have a quick look and see if I can find anything else for you interesting in the economy at the moment. Main thing I've looked at is a couple of ICOs, and I know a lot of people are really bearish on ICOs at the moment, but I still think there's some gems amongst the garbage. I really do. Verge has really struggled recently. Ethercept, we need you to let us know what's going on there. Ethercept's done some work over at Verge. Also think metal at $4. I've said this before. I think it's going to turn out to be cheap long term. We'll see what happens with that. It's certainly not in my top 5 of undervalued currencies. I think my main one at the moment that I'm super bullish on is that Chainlink coin. It's continuing to be solid through a dip. And as you guys know, that's one of the best signs of growing community support behind a coin. So yeah, I'm starting to get more and more bullish on it. I think there's a real use case for it. I think it really does identify a problem of Ethereum and look to overcome it. So yeah, that's probably the main one I'm bullish on today. Even though it's had a bit of a run up from where I bought it, still like it. Think it could go big. Trustcoin is another one that had a really big run up and then got cheaper again. So I've had a bit of trading overnight. It's been interesting. Oh, green candles for BTC. Let's have a look. Do an update for you, man. Yeah, starting to come back a little. 79.75. If it breaks back over 8,000, see, that's the thing. When you get those psychological figures like 8,000, as soon as people see it in the 7,000s, they can tend to go, oh, it's cheap, and start buying it up. So I don't know which way it's going to go. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. I think that the RSK contracts coming out in December is a move forward. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of people start to talk about those sorts of figures, Mark G, ETH 10x by next year. And as I said to you, I was at a bodyboarding comp last weekend up at the Sunshine Coast, and one of my mates up there, Randall, came up to me and said, "Oi, Fish," I think he mispronounced it a little bit, but he said, "What's this Ethereum thing," or whatever he said? And I was like, "Oh yeah, Ethereum." I said, "Solid project, man. Solid project." And he goes, "Oh, so it's all right to buy that?" I said, yeah, it's fine. It was at 300 or 330. I said, long term, man, if you're just going to buy it and hold it in that little Coinbase. It's what a lot of guys do in Australia. They literally just open up Coinbase and either buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin, which is why it's hard not to be bullish on all three of them, because anyone getting in tends to go into those 3 coins first in Australia, at least. So yeah, with Ethereum, I don't know about 10x by next year, man. That's a big call. That's a big call. There's a lot of competition coming in for Ether. Lisk and Neo. Like, I didn't even realize, but Neo has JavaScript, right? So Ethereum with Solidity, and I believe Solidity only, whilst I understand it's not a super complex programming language to learn, I think a lot of people are impatient. I think that's human nature. And I think that a 15-year-old, 16-year-old developer sitting in his bloody bedroom, which is no doubt where the next big thing will come from again, is probably going to go, I can't be bothered, I'll just do it in JavaScript. Because that's what 16-year-olds do. They're bloody impatient. But they're also, you pick out some that are absolutely brilliant. We had a bit of a discussion about that on Discord this morning, actually, about Alex being young, 20 years old. And about him labeling himself as dropped out of uni. And I said, well, you know, Mark Twain saying that he'd never let his schooling get in the way of his education. I feel that way a lot about institutional education. I think it can dull the mind at times. Oh, Joe reckons that Ether could get manipulated to 10x by a huge whale. Who knows? What will be the next coin on Coinbase? Mark G? I have no idea, man. Who knows what they'll add next? Well, it's probably going to go up. I don't doubt that. I'm just saying that 10x in 12 months from a coin that's gone from 30 cents to $300 or $400 already. So you're going from 30 cents to $4,000. That's substantial growth. And as I said, there are other coins coming out identifying potential problems with Ethereum, like TPI, like collection of TPI, like Chainlink's looking to overcome, and like that other ICO, what was it, Oracles, that we missed out on because it was 100 Ether minimum and we only had 1 day to raise it. So we didn't bother with that one. But you know, that sold out in something like 30 seconds. So I think savvy investors are saying, yeah, hang on, that is an issue. We need third-party information collection to actually finish a contract, to actually enforce a contract. That's the truth. It's a good writing one, but how does it get enforced when decisions have to be made around valuations or circumstances? How does that happen without third-party input? It doesn't. Mark G said Ether is 80x since January. Yeah, it's crazy, crazy times. Just want to get back to Hourglass. Oh, stop shilling Neo. I just gave, no, not okay. I'm not even going to read it. Okay, I'll read it. It's going to say, yes, a major way Neo will succeed because of its universal language code. It uses everything, not just Solidity. Yeah, okay. Shill Neo some more. I did it, but back me up and chill it some more. I'm only joking, bro. Yeah, it's a good project. I've always said that. Agent Smith likes Komodo. Man, I got a really good trade on Ether to Komodo last night because I do Ether trading over on Binance. And for those of you interested, the link is in the description. Yeah, so I trade Ether over there, and with that Ether run up, man, I bought a little bit more Binance for the, a bit more Komodo for the Monese bag for the ICO that I'm really bullish on. So Monese have delayed the ICO, as we know, and they're going to give 2 weeks notice. So we don't know when that announcement will come out, but I expect when that announcement comes out, KMD will have a run up. And you guys know my strategy. I like to position myself early so I don't have to lose sleep looking for announcements. I believe KMD has already run up slightly, but I think it'll go truck passing. I think it'll go up towards those $3 marks as news comes out about the Monese ICO being released, because you do get a 30% discount at the Monese ICO, and Komodo's a good project without Monese. Simple as that. It's a better project with that alliance. So yeah, I like it. Hey, Shao. You've missed a lot about learning about my culture, man, Australian culture. Fortunately for you, we've got more videos in store. I said crypto making millionaires by the day. It literally does. Holy wow. Mark G met a guy that bought $1,000 worth of Ether, $1,000 worth of Ether in January. He lost his keys. 80 grand, gone. Ouch. That's pretty funny. Agent Smith is clearly getting drunker. He said, I hacked your YouTube and replaced your Binance referral link with mine. All proceeds go to Putin. I thought all proceeds would go to the development of Cheetah Coin. You missed that one, didn't you, Agent Smith? All right, let's have another look at a bit of fun. Teaching you about Australian culture. And I just want to have a look at another one of our prime ministers. Now, this guy was pretty popular as well, actually. This one, John Howard, was from the Liberal Party, from the Liberal National Coalition Party. And he was the one responsible for bringing in massive gun reform in Australia. basically the Port Arthur massacre happened. And he came in and just said, no, you're not having guns anymore, guys. You're going to shoot each other like that and taking away all the guns. And we've been better for it. So there were some things he did which were not so popular. But he also introduced a GST in this country. And I'm a big believer that a GST is a fairer way of taxation than income tax. Because it, you know, honestly, the guys, I know how these things work. The big guys have good accountants. So whilst you might think it's great to tax the bigger guys bigger money, it doesn't always work in practice. So anyway, I'll get off that political rant and say that, you know, GST is was a good tax that was introduced into Australia, in my opinion. So if you spend, you pay your tax, and the big guys spend. So yeah, it makes sense. That's how they pay their tax like everyone else. Anyway, let's get on to one of the more embarrassing moments for Australia when our Prime Minister went over to, I think it was in India. It might have been India or Sri Lanka. I think it was India. And he showed how good he was, because he's a massive cricket fan. Cricket's a huge sport in Australia. And he showed how good he was at cricket.
Cricket tragic. Prime Minister Howard couldn't resist the temptation to roll the arm over while he's in Pakistan. Mr. Howard failed to handle the local conditions with his first delivery. That was a dead ball. Not wanting to damage Australia's cricket reputation on the subcontinent, he stepped up again. Wide that time. One past failed attempt before he swapped. Suggested the Prime Minister took over the willow instead of the ball. He successfully kept out 2 deliveries and decided it was a good idea to retire while he was ahead.
Okay, so that was Prime Minister Howard, who I was actually a bit of a fan of. But anyway, that was Prime Minister Howard. What we call bowling in cricket, and the ball landed at his feet. So I'm sure he's loving the fact that I'm reliving that, and I know he's a big fan of the show. So how are you, Mr. Howard? Good to see you. Oh, Zhao said, I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm actually working on a coin. I'm part of a team. There's literally 5 guys in our crew now working on projects. It's pretty cool. 5 that I know of. There's probably more. Aside from Tether, been very little FUD lately. Something is about to happen, but the dip. No, I don't think there has been little FUD. I think people are just getting more immune to FUD. You hear it enough times and it loses its potency. It's as simple as that. So I don't think there's less FUD, man. I still think there's plenty of FUD out there. It's just that people are more immune to it. That's my personal opinion, of course. GST is 13% in Toronto. It depends on the whole tax structure for the whole economic system, but I don't see that as a bad thing. Don't see it as a bad thing. It's still very early stages and it's a secret. Xiao's being very coy about his blockchain project. Fair enough, Xiao. 20% in UK and 23% in Republic of Ireland. Yeah, but it's also relative to all the other taxes you've got to pay. So you've got to take that into account. We've got 10% here in Australia. They have talked a long time about putting it up, but essentially any government that proposes an increase to the GST is going to be voted out at the next election. And politicians don't have a habit of doing what's best for the country. They have a habit of doing what will get them voted again at the next election. Political rant. Thank you. All right, let's keep going because I've got... Oh, no, stuff it. I'm not going to show you any more videos. The other one I was going to show you is Tony Abbott and budgie smugglers. Does anyone really want to see that? For those of you interested, Tony Abbott is kind of the Australian version of Putin in that he never wore a shirt. He got around in budgie smugglers, dick togs, speedos, I think you call them in America. And he was he's in the surf life saving and all that. So he did have a reason to be wearing them, but it seemed like he constantly made sure he was being interviewed while he was wearing his fish for Prime Minister. Goodness gracious me. Australia's really lost their way if we start getting fish in for Prime Minister. I'm worse than all these guys combined. Yeah, Abbott I didn't actually mind Abbott. I thought he was harshly treated in some circumstances. But no, the problem with politicians in Australia is we don't have good options. And no offense to the US, but it reminds me, and I won't say no offense because this was the general consensus coming out of a lot of America that we were hearing in Australia anyway, is that we don't feel like we've got a good option. We've got Trump on one hand and Clinton on the other, and we don't really want to vote for either. And I think that was a consensus that was strong coming out of the US that at least we were hearing in Australia, and that could be falsified through the media, it's hard to tell. But I feel the same in Australia, that we don't have good options. I don't feel like Turnbull is doing a brilliant job, and I don't feel like Shorten would do any better. So for me, when it comes to voting time, it's like, what, one Muppet over another? Who cares? They're all just Muppets anyway, who just like flip-flop and protect their job. Who knows why they protect their job? One term in office and you're set for life. Do you know the pension these guys are on? My goodness. At least we don't have Trump. Agent Smith said, don't complain, at least you don't have Trump. Yeah, that's true. No, I just thought Turnbull would be like, I thought he would be more productive. Honestly, I thought he'd be a really, really strong Prime Minister. And I just don't feel like he's been super productive. I feel like for a guy who made his millions or hundreds of millions in technology to continue to roll out a pathetic national broadband network is a huge mistake, and a costly mistake, not only for the taxpayer, but also for the future progress of our country, where we're behind even developing countries with our internet speed. How can we be competitive in the IT industry? And how can we be competitive in the internet space? And you just go, oh yeah, but the Labor government started it. No one said you had to finish it. No one said you couldn't have had the balls to say it's not going to work. We're pulling the plug here and we're putting in something better. No one said you couldn't do that. You can't blame it on the last government. Yes, the last government made flaws. That's why they got voted out. It's your job to fix them. Anyway, sorry, political rant. Yeah, well, Mark G's Canadian, and Mark G said he doesn't really like going to the US anymore. He feels bad because he's close to them in terms of geographically. A lunatic has the launch codes. And Agent Smith said, yeah, it's scary. Are you serious, Joe? Joe said that Sunshine Coast is copying internet from China. That's what I mean, man. Our infrastructure's in this country for internet, which I know little about, but what I do know about it, I'm like, how can I see the flaws with this being a complete technical idiot and you can't, and you're a government that potentially has access to the best drivers, the best advisors in the world, 2-hour drive, yeah, for you to hit the US. Yeah, my brother they used to do what's called a post walk. So my brother used to live in Canada, and what they'd do is when it was time to renew their visa, they have to exit Canada and come back. So they'd go, I can't remember where it is, but they'd go to a point in Canada and literally walk around the border and come back and get their passport stamped and get their visa renewed to stay in Canada for another 2 years. That's what my brother did. Or it's a year at a time. I can't remember. He was over there for 4 years. He loved it over there. I did as well. I visited a couple of times. Great country, good people. I like the US too, for those of you interested. I've been to California a couple of times. I enjoy traveling, meeting new people. Oh, really, Joe? Joe said that in the Sunny Coast, they've figured out how to redirect the internet, and it's ridiculously fast. It got offered to the Gold Coast, but the council said, no, Sunshine Coast got offered it. Thank you, Mayor Tate, for saying no. People could actually be getting this stream without lagging. What's that link for, Jace? Oh, cool. Thanks, man. Yeah, so glad Jace has just put a link up in the live chat for anyone who wants to keep an eye on the Gladius ICO and see how it's tracking. Already raised what did we say? 5 mil, Jace? So 7 mil to go. I reckon that's going to chew through pretty quick, I've got to say. I saw another YouTuber doing a video on it. I had 15,000 views. I had 200, so I'm glad I could chip in. But point is the word's getting out there. All right, I'm going to do a quick update and see where we're trending. I really think PIVX is good value anywhere around even that $3 mark, but definitely under it. I think it's great value. Really good buying. Lisk, I think, has think it's taken enough of a retracement to start calling it reasonable buying again. I think once that development, look, maybe wait until some development packages come out and some ICOs. Up to you on list. It does look like it's bottoming for mine though. It's a nice shape to the end of the chart. So there is some still, there's some bargains around. The thing is that whenever we have a retracement, what some might call a mini crisis, it is a little bit of an opportunity to get stocked up on those altcoins that you are interested in. Just having a look at the market now, Bitcoin has gone back over the $8,000 mark. Bitcoin Cash has dropped below the 1,700 mark. So we're looking at an inverse relationship definitely solidifying in between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. Now, if you'd like to hedge your bets and grab some Bitcoin Cash in case, you're actually contributing to the uncertainty in the market. So unless you actually have a reason to be buying Bitcoin Cash, my personal suggestion is to see it as heavily publicity driven by people who do get a lot of attention in the market, very much emotion driven, and not considering the facts behind what it would actually take for Bitcoin Cash to be recognized as the Bitcoin. So I think the whole flippening thing is utter nonsense, and I could be proven wrong in the most horrible manner. And that's the thing. It's only my opinion. So you've got to make your own. It is an interesting time in the economy. We've hit the $250 billion mark. Certainly not at mass adoption yet, but we're working our way towards it. Oh, right. That's interesting, BB Junkie. I'll get over and have a look at that, man. I'm going to be keeping an eye on it for sure. Hey, Jace, can you drop that link over on our Discord group, please, man? So I can keep an eye on that as well. Just put it in resources or in the Gladius ICO channel, either one. Anyway, market looks interesting. I think it's going to be, look, I think when times of uncertainty coincide with traditional times of people taking money out of the economy, i.e. weekends, i.e. before Christmas so they can spend it, I think you're likely to see, compounding retracements, which is going to leave opportunities for purchases on cheap altcoins. I can see that happening through the course of the day. Keep your eyes open. Joe, let's have if you're still on the chat, man, let's have a talk about Gladius, because, especially if it was a minimum Neo investment. So if they're going to, it'd be 1,000 Neo we'd have to get together. So it's, so it's still $34,000. We did actually go pretty close to racing that just for Gladius. So I don't know, man. We can have a try. I do like the project. I think the team's strong. That's the thing, right? The team's got a lot of experience in the area. So I'd like to have a look. Anyway, I'm going to check out, guys. It's been over an hour. I'm hungry. I'm going to get some food. All right, cool, Joe. What? You do 150? Oh, for Neo. For Neo, yeah, cool. All right, man. Well, that makes it interesting. I think, we've got to, Wilkie's always invest. I haven't checked the Surf Jace because I'm without a car at the moment and it tortures me. Joe, let's have a chat about that because Wilkie might be interested. He's got a substantial Neo holding and he's looking to invest it. So maybe we can have a look at doing something as a group, man. Let's talk about that on Discord. How long have we got to organise it if we want to get together that much money? We'll have to have a look. Anyway, we might start a channel over on the Discord group about this ICO we're talking about. So for those of you who don't know what we're talking about and are interested, we'll have a new ICO channel opening up on our Discord group soon. Again, it'd be something we're looking to do as a group to take advantage of pre-ICO bonuses and also our long-term hold strategy. So, yeah, Agent Smith is clearly drunk. I don't even know what that means. I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Oh, damn it. I was going to do a seamless sign out. Now I can't. Dragging it on. Google Hangouts. See you later.